And they have
Dr. Marissa.
KCAA Loma Linda. The Legacy KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Taylor. Extremely cold weather's on the way to the central U.S. Michael Kessner has more.
Forecasters are warning that an Arctic blast of sub-freezing air will be plunging into the lower 48 states next week, and that could set records for daily low temperatures. Maggie Vespa is in Chicago this morning.
Close to 35 million people across the country under severe winter weather alerts as this system makes its way across the country, aimed at people who are still digging out and drying out from the latest round of severe weather that hit just days ago.
This year's Iowa caucuses may be the coldest on record. Caucus goers are expected to face frigid wind chills in the negative 20s as they head to and from their local precincts Monday. Weather conditions are presenting challenges for Republican candidates scrambling to make their final pitches just days before the caucuses. Over 1,800 flights within, into, or out of the United States have been canceled so far today, according to FlightAware. Chicago airports have been severely impacted. A total of more than 1,000 flights total have been canceled at O'Hare International Airport and Midway International. The FAA will increase oversight into Boeing's production. Friday's announcement comes just one day after the agency said it will be investigating the aircraft manufacturer after a door plug blew off an Alaska Airlines flight last week. The House will vote to hold Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress next week. Republican Majority Leader Steve Scalise made the announcement today, saying the president's son is not above the law. Hunter defied subpoenas to testify behind closed doors in the Republican-led impeachment inquiry into President Biden and has offered to only testify publicly. The New England Patriots have reportedly found their next coach. Liz Warner has more.
Multiple reports say the team will announce Jared Mayo will succeed Bill Belichick at a press conference next week. Mayo spent his entire professional football career with the franchise. He played 8 seasons for the team after being drafted in the first round of the 2008 draft. Mayo will become the NFL's youngest coach at 37 and just the 4th Patriots coach since 1993.
You're listening to the latest on NBC News Radio.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? Well, what would you do if you have a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's way too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times, addiction treatment is fully covered. So why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed to take time off by law, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are 2 good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call now, 800-398-7414. That's 800-398-7414.
Was your car involved in an accident or just need help with dents? All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers. In business for over 30 years. Their highly trained staff and certified technicians and friendly staff are the best in the business and treat each car as if it was their own. All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers are family-owned and offer state-of-the-art equipment and tools to ensure optimum results. They use the latest technology in computerized color matching and specialize in frame repairs. With their modern laser measuring systems, they're OEM certified, and they have 4 locations to serve you. All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers offer rental car assistance with free drop-off and pickup services too, and their work has a lifetime guarantee. All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers are in Norco, Eastvale, Moreno Valley, and in Fontana. Call them at 1-800-61-MAGIC. That's 1-800-61-MAGIC. All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers. 1-800-61-MAGIC. All Magic Paint and Auto Body says, drive carefully.
Southwestern Motors in San Bernardino thanks our troops and veterans for everything they've done so fearlessly for us. Send letters and packages from home and offer a veteran a discount on your local product or service. It will be greatly appreciated. This message courtesy of Southwestern Motors at 791 North Mount Vernon in San Bernardino. Known for quality, integrity, and knowledgeable service since 1957. Call 909-889-9539. Southwestern Motor, on the air because they care.
to Balanced Living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Wumble, Streaker, and more. Why so many places? Well, I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip on this show, no scandal, and no K-words. No Kanye talk, formerly or now. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. Why not 100% of the time? If you're 100% happy, you're dead. I do not want dead people watching or talking or listening. Instead, I want you to know who you are at the core of you are as one of the most important people in your life. And that's why I'm so glad the people who said that a show that is positive would not last beyond a year. I'm happy to tell you I am on week 601 consecutive weeks on the air on camera. And let's see, 11.7 months now. 11.7 years. And not only am I growing by leaps and bounds, I have a very active and wonderful streaming community that is what I affectionately call the Cashew Gallery. And I don't think I've ever seen it quite this full. First thing before we even have breakfast, which is taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And I have a very special co-host here this morning, which is why my Cashew Gallery is so full. I'm going to blame you and give you credit. His name is Troy Pacelli. He has been my co-captain along with Orville Nation, who I met years ago when he invited me to the Carnegie Hall to cover an event and bring along my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, to come and present Bob Proctor with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And that was a long time ago, but you know how you meet some people and you just click, and we've been connected now. He streams in from Portugal, New York, wherever he is, and he brought on board Troy Pacelli, who for some reason likes this show, and he's in here probably before me most mornings, and for that, I wanted to have him on. He doesn't fully have the qualifications for a new co-host for this very special Thursday series. And I'm going to bring someone on who was my co-host for a little while. His name is Frank Carollo. One of the things that keeps happening is my sound engineer, started with Sam Works, was my sound engineer, got him to do some of the gratitude exercise, became my co-host for a good 8 months, and then he's off doing his great stuff himself. And then Frank became my new co-host when they moved me to 9 to bump up the numbers. And he also got trapped into becoming a co-host. And one of the qualifications is that you're single, because I just love, going into the weekend just a little more risque. I used to do sexual healing with Dr. Marissa every month, last week of the month when I was only on once a month. During COVID, I got invited by the station owner, Fred Lundgren, to take over the morning show spot, which I gladly did, not realizing that 5 times a week was just a tad more than once a week. But co-hosts have been part of the solution. I'm so glad that Frank was able to fill in. When he started yawning during my show, I knew it was time to release him from his duties and let him focus. He has his own show on Sundays. I'm sure you'll go visit him. What time is that show?
Well, that's a show that I'm part of, but my personal show is on Tuesdays.
Okay, Tuesdays. What time?
7 p.m. Pacific time, right before your rerun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And he is also a DJ. So if you have any DJ needs, his how do they get to you?
You can email me at frank@lakesidedjservices.com. And I'm happy to. I service pretty much all of Southern California. I'd love to chat with you about your event, and maybe we can work together. That'd be awesome.
Fantastic. So with that, I want to give him a nice fitting thank you so much. Next week we will have another
Thank you.
as I'm auditioning. And excuse me. I'm gonna go against what I usually say. I don't know if you've noticed. I somehow got myself hit in the eye, and as a result, they're giving me pills. I do love medical technology, but you have to eat something. So that's why I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm literally having breakfast with myself this morning. So that's why you'll see me munching a bit, because I have to have a full stomach to take these things. But thank you so much, Frank Perolo, for filling in and being my co-host on Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa. You did an excellent job, especially since he's also sound engineering. I wish you the very best. And now get out of the studio. No, I'm kidding. I'm taking him out and letting him do his normal job. And I do have Fred Pacelli in the house. Let me give you a little information about him. Find my glasses. All right. I am introducing to you a YouTube host based out of Chicago. His Friday night talk show, Last Call, is a laid-back, informal discussion about almost anything from pop culture to world events and just about everything in between. If you're getting together with friends at a pub or chat over drinks, that's Last Call. Please welcome to my studio today is my guest co-host of Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and Troy Pacelli.
Oh, Troy Pacelli. Yep. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm used to being in the cashew gallery typing. I'm not keyed in.
Yeah, you gotta change the energy from the.
I do.
Here we go. But welcome to my studio. It's so cute.
You.
This was a sort of last minute.
Sure.
Orville Nation. We had suggested you as a co-host when I was starting to do auditions, and I said, I thought of Troy too, but he's not single. He's happily married, and
yes.
I need to not get myself in trouble with the spouses and significant others.
Who is in the cashew gallery this morning, by the way?
Is she?
Yes, she is.
Is that
Netter of Netters Network. Yeah.
Yes, I saw the. Oh, that was for me.
She's saying the hi, sweeties. Yeah, to everybody.
I thought that was for you.
No. She says, hello, love of my life to me.
Oh, that's so cute. Boy, we've got Shay Bird in here too. You're so cute.
Hi, Shay.
Advice. So who else do we have here? Orville Nation, of course.
Of course. Maria's up there too.
Maria's in the house. So
yes.
Cool. We work up here.
I know she's multitasking.
Sci-Fi Mombi.
Yes, Sci-Fi Mombi, great supporter of the Orville Nation crew. We have Deleted Scenes. He's one of the hardest working blue wrenches in YouTube. Dr. Omega, he's been around. You've seen him before. Yeah, it's a full crew today. Thanks so much for being here and encouraging me, guys.
Yeah, that is awesome. Let's say we've got hi there. Let's see, we've got oh wow, all let's see, full of names. Yeah, there's just a lot of them, and I know Orville Nation tells me I don't have to flash all the things, but at the beginning of the show, I want to give credit where credit is due. Being late a psychologist.
I already covered for you. I explained the network, and you have
Yes, I am. Thank you for that, Dr. Omega. fighting words. Maria's here. She is also one of the presidents of my support group. Let's see anybody else. I just don't want to miss anybody who's new or, oh, wow. We've got, okay, I've covered you. Man.
Yeah, I was working the peanut gallery, keeping everyone company.
Here we go. Here's a new one. Deleted scenes. Is that one of y'all's?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he is a great supporter of all the channels in our network. He's wonderful.
That's great. And dropping a like. Yes, I love being given the finger, which is
this finger, folks.
Yes, not the other finger. So please do, and please share, and thank you for joining. And I'm honored that you're here today. So we start with breakfast, and this is a audience participation. It's a discipline that I believe will help us all move out of any kind of isolated, negative, worst case scenario thinking. That is part of managing your own mental health. So gratitude sandwich, taking a bite every start of the show, 8 things that we're specifically grateful for outside of ourselves. And then the bottom of the bun, and Netter tells me you like it on the bottom, Troy. You notice how I usually, it's okay to say that for single people, but this is why.
It's fine to say it for married people, too. I don't see why not.
I said it with Netter in there because, So this is one of the reasons, not that Troy isn't a capable co-host, but one of the definite criteria is that you're single. So that it gives me the latitude to be a little naughty and not get into trouble. Well,
you haven't had a chance to hang out with us at last call yet. We get pretty blue there.
Blue balls, blue, or just
maybe that too. Oh my gosh, I come on your show and you get really laid back, and that's good. I'm good with that.
Just keep coming.
As long as it's not me. As long as it's not me bringing your show down.
You're not bringing anything down. It's all up. #UP. Unlimited possibilities, which is why I'm grateful to start with for the ever-growing and expanding ability to be positive and meet like-minded, like-hearted, positive people. That's my first gratitude. What's yours?
Well, I think it should be obvious. My first gratitude today is that you reached out to me. You wanted to have me as a guest. I am so encouraged and grateful for that.
Awesome. I am grateful for PJ, who is awesome. And he is, he keeps trying to grow and expand me, even though I have very strong views about certain places I don't necessarily want to promote in. But he still keeps chipping away. So I just love him for that. I'm grateful for Frank. I think we said that earlier. And his being a co-host. I'm grateful for, I'm going to do my last gratitude and let you do the rest. Grateful for life. The planets didn't crash into each other last night. I'm here with another opportunity and day to laugh and learn and hug and hold and respect and tease and be naughty. And for that, I am truly grateful. Your turn.
Okay. Well, I also want to say how thankful, and I think I said this in the Cashew Gallery, I'm thankful for all the people that came out to support us in the Cashew Gallery today. You guys knew I was a little nervous about today, and you guys all came in to say, you got this, Troy, and I super appreciate that. And I'm hoping you're hitting the like button, you're hitting the subscribe, let Dr. Pei know that you're here for her too. I am also thankful for this audiobook that I started listening to just recently. It's called 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. It's by a Dr. Marissa Pei. I definitely recommend you all check that out. I love this whole idea of being happy at least 88% of the time, And one other thing I'm happy about, I'm going to move aside so you guys all can see this. At First Light, That's a book by a Dr. Walt Larimore. He was just on a couple days ago, and Netter already knows because she sees everything that comes in the mail. That's her Christmas gift this year. She's going to enjoy that.
Oh, and the big news around that is he was so good. I think you and Orville Nation and Maria all said that favorite guest, one of the top favorite guests that you've seen in my 1,059 shows, but who's counting?
You are.
Yeah. And they're all on my YouTube channel. And I know Orville Nation's going to put on there that I think I only need 12 more subscribers to hit a 2,000. I have had 302,000 views, which I'm super happy about. I have not pushed for subscribers, which Orville Nation points out that I have room for improvement on that. So with his help and Troy's, free subscribe. You get not only these shows, you get my interviews on the red carpet with Halle Berry and John Travolta, and I understand y'all are into pop culture and phones and all of that. So please enjoy those, as well as hashtag COVID Silver Lining. Didn't have time or opportunity to go out. All my motivational speaking gigs got canceled, but I discovered that I really like filmmaking. So I now have 3 one short film, 1 long film, and a music video out. So you can get those free. Subscribe on my YouTube channel as well. So, and Dr. Larimore is coming back
next week.
Monday. Yeah. So I hope to see all of you here. And since Veterans Day is Saturday, I'm not on that day, which is why I brought him back. Next Monday and this Monday. I'm replaying him tomorrow. So that way, if you missed his first one, you can watch that tomorrow. I wasn't planning on streaming it. You can watch it on my YouTube channel because I kind of want a day off. But if you don't mind me not being there, I may just stream it again. You guys tell me if you want me to stream. If you're used to coming time in the morning. I won't be here, but you are welcome to hijack that show to talk about it. And Troy and Orville Nation can take you through it.
Sure.
All right. Bottom of the bun. We are now into the part of what my BS belief system is. Mental health begins with your ability to care about yourself, to love yourself, to respect yourself, to soothe yourself, and not listen to the critic who tells you you're not all that and who do you think you are, especially for those of us a lot on the chat who are putting ourselves out there. And when we put ourselves out there, we sometimes get people that don't appreciate us. So it's of tantamount importance to really be able to nurture and approve of yourself. Because frankly, my dear, if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect anybody else to approve of you? Yeah. So the part of the bun, the bottom of the bun, is what you do before you go to bed tonight. Instead of thinking about who done me wrong, what I missed, what I didn't do, what I didn't have time for, all of that, or going to bed like this, MS, meaning scrolling, and you just get yourself riled up again. I try to plug this outside of my bedside table so that I'm not tempted to go to sleep. Instead, 8 specific things that you like about yourself. I'll start. I appreciate my resilience, that no matter what, no matter how tired I am, no matter how exhausted or frustrated, I just know that this too shall pass. And I'm going to feel better at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later, but it's not always going to be like this. Troy.
I appreciate my supportive and encouraging nature. I feel that when you are that way, you attract others like that. I think today's Cashew Gallery is a great example of that. So I feel reinforced in that belief.
Wonderful. I appreciate that I am, that I don't beat myself up as much as I used to.
Wow. Yeah. I could almost ditto that, but I won't cheat that way.
All right.
I appreciate that that life has given me the wisdom to be able to share, the way that I do, confidently and in a relaxed manner.
I appreciate that. I'm a good cook. I actually made this myself. This is a family recipe called guajidang, and it's a Mandarin for scraping. Gua, the bottom of your bowl, dan is egg. And it's a family recipe from my Pei family, my father's family. They grew up in Suzhou. There's actually a tourist attraction there called Siziling, which is Lion Forest Garden. If you've ever been there, let me know. There's a plaque on the wall that says the Chinese government thanks the Pei family for kindly donating this land, which is because it was seized with 60
Right.
days, right? But it's okay. Anyways, it's a longer story I don't want to go into, but this is one of the family recipes that I taught my daughters, and I am appreciative that I am a good cook.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I guess I could somewhat echo that. I'm appreciative of my Italian heritage. Wanted to say a hello and goodbye to my paisan Frank. I was so glad that I got to see him face to face today, and yeah, I think it's one of the things Netter likes about me too is I bring great cooking into the marriage. You can kind of tell I like to eat.
Molto bene.
Mm-hmm.
Netter, you're gonna have to say what's your favorite dish that he cooks?
Oh, that's like making her choose between her children. But yeah, and I'd be curious what your thought is on that one today, Netter.
There you go. And I appreciate that I am better at taking compliments than I used to be. So that's another one. What about you? One more?
I feel like I got to go the opposite way. I appreciate about myself my humility, which sometimes manifests in self-deprecation, in my humor. But I think it keeps me grounded.
Beautiful. And that is it. That's having a bite of our gratitude sandwich. If you just tuned in and wondering what's going on, this is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show you're on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere, and specifically, you can watch and listen now on my YouTube channel, so please subscribe there. And I promise you, if you have a bite of my gratitude sandwich for 28 consecutive days, you will establish a habit for your own mental health that sandwiches your day in the most positive way. So thank you for joining us for breakfast. All right, here we go. What is the topic of the day? What did I write?
Well,
Hold
I
on,
think
let me introduce it for you.
Sure.
And then you get to go. Join my co-host. My bonus dad, who is turning 94 this month, has been married to my bonus mom for 73 years. And I asked him how that happened. She's turning actually 91 next week. And he said it was because they never wanted a divorce at the same time. My guest co-host today, Troy, he also has a long marriage of 30 years to a wonderful, beautiful, inside and out woman who I'm meeting for the first time today, and I'm just delighted to do so. Her name is Netter's Network on the chat. So congratulations. And then she put a comment here. It was 31. Hold on.
31.
Being raised. I'm sorry, 31. I don't want to take 1 year away, but I'm going to first congratulate you on that because I wasn't there for you. And you got a bunch of hearts on that. I just
Awesome.
saw that. So that is very cool. So because he did not long term meet my single requirements, I thought, well, then why not talk about not being single? And
Yeah.
what the secret to a long term marriage, which a lot of people say is, a dying breed, with all the changes in our culture. And I will, at the risk of getting defensive, I'm one of the first to say that divorce is not bad. I do not subscribe to the religious, it's a sin, you're damned, and all of that bullshit hockey. Instead, I believe that everyone has the option of a book of romance that may have one long chapter or more than one shorter chapters, and that there's no shame in that. And so I just want to put that moose on the table first. I'm not judging anyone,
Right.
especially
Right.
me, right? My sentence was 9.2 years. I mean, my marriage lasted 9.2 years, and I'm happily divorced. And we've talked about this on the show before. I have no regrets. I have two beautiful daughters, and I grew a lot during that experience. I have no regrets at all. Resentment pops up every once in a while. It's not every day you have to pay $3 million to get a divorce. But and the judge looked at me and said, "Well, you wanted equal rights, so there might be a little reason for a little bit of resentment, but overall, I have no regrets at all, and I'm grateful for what that marriage brought to me." So that's my news on the table, Canadian version of Elephant in the Room. Troy, take it away. What
Sure.
is the secret?
Well, I find it humorous that not humorous, interesting that people do ask that. That is the first question people ask when they hear 30, 31 years of marriage, and they see that we're so happy. And I feel like that's only a question that started being asked recently, in maybe the past generation or so. I think prior to that, it was just assumed you would be married for long periods of time. It is less common than it used to be. And I don't think that there is any one answer to that question. But I think there's a lot of things that are key. First, Netter, I told you in advance, I'm going to have to share about you. So, maybe that's why she's here to monitor me. But Nanette was married previously too. So we know that, sometimes you don't get it right the first time, right? I think luck is an element. I got lucky the first time. I met the one, I believe the only. People also asked, do you believe, is there only one person for everyone? I don't know, because I feel like once you find that one, you stop looking. I have no reason to continue looking. Communication in advance is key. It is crucial.
About what?
About what you're about to do, about the commitment. So one of the things I said to Netter when we were getting ready to get married, I said, look, we're going to go and say, till death do us part. And I mean that. I take that seriously. So if you want out of this, one of us got to die. And she took it as a joke, but she's lived it, just like I did. We went into it with that level of commitment. So all the times, I loved what you said about your parents being not wanting divorce at the same time, because that thought goes through your mind. It does. It's and it does take, well, do you want a divorce? No, I don't. Okay. That ends it right there. You gotta, at least one of you has to be still in that mindset. But I think for both of us, I don't think it was ever really a consideration. It was more, just make sure you don't, because I committed and I just want to make sure you're still committed. And that's another part of it. every day you wake up and you make that decision again. Every day you commit to it over again. I committed 31 years ago to this marriage, and I'm committing again this morning. And, how you talk about being happy 88% of the time. Why only 88%? Because it's not possible 100% of the time. So Netter and I have gone through hard times and difficulties and knockdown, drag out arguments, but I think we've hit that 88%, good times, and that's more than enough momentum to get you through the 12% that aren't so great.
Right.
And that's nutshell. That's nutshell.
Right. Sorry. I just every time you say something, it triggers me to think about something else. So
I don't mean to trigger you. I'm just
no,
sharing.
no, in a positive way.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah, positive triggers. I remember at some point you chatted in some show, I forget which one,
Yes.
and you said that both of us knew what each other's triggers were.
Yes.
The things that were like, they were painful learning lessons from the past. And I remember you sharing, the betrayal, or there was what's that word? Not bondage. The betrayal. Yeah, I guess it's betrayal. Cheating on. That you were cheated on, and that was, something that led to your look.
Yeah.
If we're gonna decide to do this, you are not gonna do that. Like that is just, you have to promise me that is never ever gonna happen, because that will,
Exactly.
I don't know if you said shoot you or whatever.
Sure.
I took whatever that, the consequence of that was. So in having that communication ahead of time, to be vulnerable enough to say, look, I've had experiences left, right, and center, dating and relationships, and I know what I want, and this is something that has to be. And so you either choose, it's kind of like happiness. You can choose happiness. You can choose to be in a relationship where the chances are, because they've known ahead of time, because you watched their behavior, because when you were dating, they weren't like gawking and, like basically leaving your side to go, flirt with someone, or hiding what they're writing on social media or their phone. Or there's plenty of ways to discern, if that person is going to follow their commitment, right? Of what they're saying. What kills me sometimes is the way that people, and I call it the pregnancy model of relationships. So the first trimester in a relationship, everything's golden. It's that the glow. You're pregnant with love, and you're showing the best side of you. If you're fruit in a stall, the one with the brown spots is on the bottom. It's all glowy on top, and you make promises that you have no reason, or it's kind of dumb. I'll stay with you forever. I'll love you forever. I feel like, I've known you forever. You're the one. You complete me. Cinderella, happily ever after. And we're taught that. We're conditioned for that. Society supports that. Religion says till death do us part, sin, all of that. And so we're kind of led astray and set ourselves up in that first trimester. Second trimester comes, and you see the other side of the fruit, and reality hits. No more flowers. You don't bring me flowers. Sorry. There's no more, staying up late and talking, and all the things that gelled you in that first trimester. Now, second trimester, bloated feet, digestion, and then the thought is, well, they must not be the one, right? This is too hard. This is a deal breaker time. Da, 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 da. And that is how we are left with painful angry, resentful residue from the relationship process, which in my mind, I do happiness coaching with couples and they come, I know it's the name of the show is Take My Advice, I'm not using it, right? So
Right.
I don't have to be in a relationship to be able to coach you. But I ask them, are you happy 80% of the time? I don't even say 88, too high.
Sure.
80% of the time, are you happy with the person you're with? And they'll say yes, and most oftentimes it's the women. Sorry. They'll say, yes, I am happy 80% of the time. But, and then they spend the rest of the session talking about all the things they don't like. And so for me, that says, oh, no. You don't be with someone that you don't love for who they are the way they are. It is really interesting. Most women, not all women, but most women, I find this more so than men, will say, I want someone to love me for exactly who I am. But then the flip side ain't true, right? I will love you more if da-da-da. Men are not guilty to protect, the names are being changed to protect the guilty. Men also do this, but not to the same extent as I've seen for women. And so one of my first solutions, we're in the second half of the show, is for the couple to hold hands and to look in the eyes and recite and remember all the things that they do love about each other. And also then consummate that with some really good sex. Because what I've noticed is a lot of couples, my first sign of, okay, something's wrong. When was the last time you had sex? When was the last time you had an orgasm with each other? So anyways, I think I'm getting a little too detailed. Let's go to the cashew gallery. If you just tuned in and wondering what the heck's being talked about today, it is long-term marriages and secrets of success and things that derail a long-term marriage is what I'm going for because I'm very experienced with that. This is my Thursday series called Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and guest co-host
Troy Pacelli.
There we go. And I'm so glad to have you in studio. We have a very active cashew gallery. I am going to go over to the comments, but please tune in. Go free subscribe on my YouTube channel, and then you'll get an alert every weekday morning for more hope and happiness. Here we go. Go ahead and read since you're on this side now.
Read the comments? Sure. Going back to one that Dr. Omega said, together 22 years, married 19. She wanted a divorce but didn't go about it like an adult. She made life miserable for months, hoping I would be the one to ask for it. That option had never entered my mind. Exactly. Follows up with, we once talked about living together. I said by about 200 years you'd grow apart. She used to give me about that, but turns out it was only 22 years. I think people do change and go out of sync. Netter is saying that was not me. She was referring to what you were sharing that I shared previously about people that weren't faithful to me. I'll comment on that in a moment. In more primitive times, people would get basically married for about a year at year intervals, leave with options, or lease with options to buy, but do engagements now. But it's not quite the same. No, that's absolutely true. So. You also talk on your show, Dr. Marissa, about childhood trauma. And I had shared a little bit about my parents' marriage, which was one of those staying together for the children type of situations. And they were absolutely miserable. I have no doubts, I have no misinterpretations that there was some problems and dysfunction on both sides. But ultimately, it was my father who went outside the marriage and left. And that wasn't just between him and my mom. That was, him and the whole family. He abandoned me, my mother, my autistic brother, and all of his responsibilities. And I said, you know what? I took that trauma and I decided I'm going to use this in my life, and I'm going to do the opposite. Everything I saw him do, I'm going to do the opposite. And where I see him as a failure, I will be a success. And this is something I shared with Nanette when we met, along with the dating experiences I had had up to then. Every girl I had been involved with that I thought we were doing great and we had a great relationship decided to go somewhere else. It was like my father. And I knew I had chosen poorly. And I was very upfront with Nanette about that too, saying I have some serious trust issues. So, even though we're getting married, I don't feel 100% until, I don't know, a year, 2 years out. You're on warranty with me. I'll trust you when I know I can trust you. And she rose to that occasion. And going into it, like I had shared with you previously, she had been married before, had children. That marriage split up. She had her own trust issues and so forth, and was open with me about those. So I went in going, okay, I know what her concerns are. I know what her fears are, what not to be, and have, as part of my vows, vowing not to be that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And staying true to that commitment, 31, years and counting, sometimes, you get thoughtless and you're not as on point as you should be. Sometimes it just takes the other one saying, hey, you promised. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll do better. Growing together rather than apart, and it's an active choice. Love, when you say I love you, love is the verb in that sense. It is an active thing. It's something you do. I love you. I am doing this thing. It's not something that just exists magically. Kind of like you were saying, all those things, I fall in love and I, forever and ever and this and that. Okay, you have to make that happen. You got to put in the work, right? You don't just identify as in love. You don't just like you don't identify as a wealthy person. Being wealthy requires work and planning and making your money work for you. That's a whole other topic, but it's not dissimilar. Right. Love is the same way.
Yeah. It's not a light switch. It is a discipline. It is a practice. There are behaviors, doing something when you don't feel like doing it, compromising when I hate that word, but compromising when you don't feel like it, understanding. And Dr. Omega, you used a wonderful expression that I do too, which is lease with the option to buy. In any relationship, once a month, what are the terms, and are we changing in similar directions? Is it too much pain or work or adjustment how much of myself am I losing in order to change and grow in your direction? And again, wouldn't it be wonderful if we, in that third trimester, instead of in the second trimester, when you discover the other side, the reality side, instead of, well, you promised and you're going back on your promise from trimester
right.
one, you said you would, and instead of that, I have an expression I use all the time, which is, we're just not a match. We were a match. Yeah. It was a great match, and thank you for helping me hone and understand more what it is that I really value. I thought I valued looks, or I thought I valued money, or I thought I valued, but this is what really matters to me, and thank you for helping me with that. So that's one. So the third trimester, wouldn't it be great if we didn't talk about people like, oh, that ash hole, all the negative things we say about our exes, or my husband, as I call it, instead to really say we just weren't a match. And this is a good practical holiday tool. If you don't want to go back for the holidays because people keep asking you about an old relationship, you can, instead of saying he was a jerk or a dickwad, you can say it just wasn't a match. How are you doing? Instead of not going because you don't want to be asked that question. That was just an aside. The other thing is, I'm glad you brought about the childhood trauma. I am, thank you for promoting. Yep. This is not, as a psychologist, which I am, telling you how to be happy. I'm an organizational psychologist. It is a book that reflects that I am one of the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma. And when you've had childhood trauma, and we're the majority, 7 out of 10, my honorable moniker, Oprah, says it's as high as 8 out of 10. Why, folks, if we're the majority, do we think there's something wrong with us? There's nothing wrong with us. Pain in life is mandatory, suffering is optional. I know that when you have not healed through your own childhood trauma, your ability to attract someone who also is traumatized and has not worked with it is very high. And so that's exactly what happened in my marriage. I attracted what I was and what I had not dealt with. And so now that I've dealt with it, my relationships, albeit short, to little chapters, because I'm so busy and I love my work and that's my favorite partner right now. I know that my ability, that's my responsibility. And you, Troy, was great in admitting that part of that is that I was attracting based on where I was. So my recommendation and relationship advice to anyone who's single is, instead of pointing the finger at the other person, to do a little inside work. What about me continues to bring, especially if you have the same kind of dates over and over and over again. Cheaters, people don't live up to their word, selfish people. What is it about me that is attracting that same kind of person? It can be bosses, doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship. So that's a little happy 88 tool. Go ahead.
And that's key too, remembering that the only person you control is yourself. What in this circumstance can I change to change what I'm seeing in my life, right? Because you can't make other people do anything. Now, if you're in a good, healthy relationship, you're both of that mindset that, oh, I can only change myself, and I am willing to change, in response to my mirror, my partner here. She sees something in me, she's pointed it out to me. I'm willing to change because I want us to grow together. Once you're not willing, that's when the breakdown starts to happen. And since you did bring it up, Doctor, I want to bring it up again. 8 Ways to Happiness, that book that I'm enjoying so much. If you love somebody, you want them to be happy, so it makes a great gift, and that includes for yourself, because you should love yourself, right? So make sure you go to Dr. Marissa's shop on her webpage and pick up the audio and the physical copy of 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are. See what I did there? See what I did there?
I see what you did that. And just because you did that, I'm going to live up to my honorable moniker and give away a free audiobook right now to the first person that goes to drmarissa.life and puts Troy's name on there.
So go to the main page, scroll down, you'll see where you can send her an email, get on her email list, and put my name in the... oh, yeah, you're showing.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go down here. There's great. You'll see the Layla Ali endorsed it, back cover endorsement by New York Times bestselling author Neil Donald Walsh. You'll see some videos there of me on
content.
Lots
there
of different
you go.
TV stations. And here, just put it in. You'll be part of my Happy 88 tribe. Under subject, put Troy, and you'll get a free audiobook copy of that book. If you end up buying the book outside on Amazon, let me know and I'll send you a free audiobook copy to go with that. If you'd like a signed copy, you can actually go to my shop and get a signed copy. Part proceeds do go to Habitat for Humanity. Set that up with the publishers. I'm very proud of that. So I can't give away the books because of that, but happy to help you donate also to Habitat for Humanity. And while we're sort of taking a commercial break here, I'm also going to give away Asian Oprah giveaway. You get a ticket, you get a ticket, and you get a ticket to one of my show sponsors. And that is, let's see, we're going to go back here. I think I pulled it up. Hopefully it's still there. It's called The Magic of Lights. And if you live anywhere in the Inland Empire, I know that probably doesn't go for that, the people in the chat, but a large number of my listeners are in the IE because KCAA is located in Loma Linda. So please go to, here we go. It's a beautiful, it's in Coachella. So look at that. I would love to just drive through that.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It's beautiful.
Isn't it? So there's a lot of that. It's at the Empire Polo Club. And if you go there, if you go to my website again and just put down Coachella, you'll get a free ticket. I don't know what level it is, but you'll get to go with your car. It's the tickets are per car. And I think I have total 4 pairs to give out. I've given out 1, so I have more. So if you're listening and you'd love to go to one of my show sponsors offering to the Magic Lights, please do. All right, there's the commercial end, and back to the topic at hand, which is long-term relationships. Thank you all for being in the chat in my Cashew Gallery. If you have a question for Troy or I on anything to deal with relationships, please do ask there. If there's anything in particular that we have talked about that you would like to comment on, you have 3 minutes to do so. I just got the notice from
You
Frank.
just got, yeah. I was gonna say I'm watching the time too.
Right, fast hour here. Let's see, Shay Bird. I'm still waiting to heal childhood trauma before I attract another reflection of the conscious or subconscious wounds, fears, etc. I am faithful this is happening. It is happening. Thank you for being vulnerable, Shay Bird. I think that's a wonderful awareness that you have. And you don't have to be totally healed. I think that just the fact that you want to do that, but I would go and get my free audiobook. There's exercises in it that help you. There's even pictures, Orville Nation. But there's there's exercises for you to go and really work deep. I am a big believer that it does not take you 10 years to work through childhood trauma. That's why I wrote this book. I believe some people have worked through it as quickly as 8 weeks. 8 months is usually the average. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg and a lifetime of 401k to work with me. So that's why I'm not for everybody, but please do. There's coaching programs available as well. That's my job. Really, that is my job. That's my Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. All
and
right.
Don't put your life on hold while you're healing. Healing is a part of life. So, don't put anything on pause, but, keep moving towards healing. Absolutely.
Final word. Is that your final word?
My final word is hit the subscribe button. You need more of this. And maybe subscribe to me over at Last Call, Troy Pacelli on YouTube.
Not me. Do it.
Yes. If you want to ask me a question outside the show, just reach out to me there and join me every Friday night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern for drinks and a great conversation.
Fantastic. My final word is I just love my life. I love what I get to do.
Amen.
I love that I meet people serendipitously, doodah. And thank you so much, Troy, for coming on and being a guest co-host.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing, very easy. I don't know. I might have to rethink my qualifications. For sure, you will be a stand-in guest co-host whenever I need you. 12
I'm here for you.
It's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from our living room here with Troy Pacelli. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll see you on Monday. Happy Veterans Day.
KCAA Loma Linda. The Legacy KCAA